Here at the DCL, teams battle for the World Championship title in professional drone racing, and the season for 2025 is split up into 3 cups. Today with me, Matt Andrews, welcome to one of the last chance battles for qualification in the Falcon Cup, ahead of our finals, which are going to be happening in Abu Dhabi very soon. In this matchup, our first team are the DCL reigning world champions, Cyclone Racing. Their opponents are a team who haven't managed to beat Cyclone for over a year now. They are Spain's SDT. So, this is a big challenge for the team in green if they're going to make it to fight for that #1 spot. We're returning to Saudi Arabia for today's track, back to Alula with a straight leading into this triple corkscrew at the A2RL gates and then a hard left 180 out of there. Then a split S through the top and back through the bottom. One corkscrew in the middle and then a hard right 180 to go on. And we head towards the incredible natural formation that is Elephant Rock. Over those 2 bars, drop through this ring between the trunk and the body, and then after the block tray gate into these cages. Once you've gone through the bottom, you go straight across the top, and then there's a 360-degree descending left-hand turn. After that, these slaloms, these 3 Foxia gates, the split S here, and 2 more laps to follow. If you want to be the #1 seed at the Falcon Cup finals in Abu Dhabi, then Cyclone and SDT, they've got to win this battle first. J-Box and Yayu against Sali 1 and Plat on Air, who is the slightly older brother of Red Sheep, who you may have seen earlier on in the season, and this is the first time we've seen Plat on Air racing for SDT in 2025. And he is in the thick of the action. The front, it's switching back and forth between Sali 1 and Yayu, and Plat on Air is now hustling Yayu for that 2nd place. SDT would love to get a good points lead over Cyclone by coming in 1st and 2nd here, and Yayu was so tight on that corkscrew. What great flying, and again, and with that, he's challenging now for the lead. It looks like we're going to have a battle between him and Sali 1 as they descend down and now head towards the cages, with Plat on Air and J-Box in 3rd and 4th, and that one's by no means decided yet either. Yayu chasing Sali 1 with about 1/4 of a second between them, only a few thousandths between J-Box and Plat on Air, and the corkscrew as well now, as J-Box has tried to get on the inside of Plat on Air but hit the first part of the corkscrew and has bounced many seconds offline, so he's out of that battle for 3rd. But who's going to get first? Sali 1. It sees Yayu in front of him going into the cages. Not anymore after the exit. That was really good by Sali 1. Yayu's lost about a second of time. It's just come undone on the final lap for the pair from Cyclone. It nearly got worse for Cyclone as well. Look, Plat on Air ended up just 1/10 of a second behind Yayu. He nearly poached that 2nd place and the 3 points that came with it. But the 4 points went to Sali 1 out in front. So what happened? Well, here's Yayu on lap 2, brilliantly devouring the corkscrew, but he missed the cage entry here on lap 3. That's where Sali 1 passed him, and Plat on Air nearly did at the finish here. So it's 6 points to 4 in favour of SDT over the reigning world champions. Valprim and Zion will now take on Red Sheep and Silvio. So the younger of the brothers, alongside the captain of SDT. But on the other side, Zion, who's missed that last part of the corkscrew and had to go back for it. Out in the front, again, it is Valprim, who is currently on a perfect season. 4 wins in 4 races, and around this track in particular, he is absolutely deadly. He's in a close battle right now between both of SDT's pilots. Silvio just jostling for that lead, Red Sheep keeping up with them both. Unbelievably, Silvio, the captain of SDT, hasn't yet won a race in 2025. If he beats Valprim, that is something nobody else has managed to do so far in the Falcon Cup. He's about half a second behind as Valprim is so clean. If you look to see where he's finding this time, it's everywhere. He's just got every part of this really tidy, but Silvio has halved that gap that was between them. So he's on the charge. Can he get Valprim? Well, that's good flying from both of them in the corkscrew. Marginally quicker for Valprim, perhaps. But the exit is really good here as well, and they'll both now climb around Elephant Rock. Red Sheep has dropped off the pace, but he's looking like he's going to secure that 3rd place after Zion has really not got back into this. Silvio, now only 1/10 of a second or less behind Valprim. Valprim. Can he get him on these final turns? Into Fox here, he's almost there. There's the final split S, and it's still Valprim at the end. And he breathes a sigh of relief. He knows he nearly didn't get that one. Silvio, on the other hand, rolling his eyes. 9/100ths of a second between the pair of them as Valprim goes and gets his 5th win in 5 races. Brilliant. Now let's take a look at Zion, who didn't go over. He went through the 8RL gate, but you have to go over it to complete the corkscrew. That's why he was behind. But look at Silvio's moves here. On the inside, tries to keep it on that right-hand turn, goes fractionally wider, and that is all it took. I think the choice was to go wider and make more speed through the final gate. Great idea, Valprim was just quicker. It's the DCL Big Heat, all 8 pilots, and Cyclone need 2 more points than SDT, and Valprim is at the front. But Platon Air and Red Sheep, the 2 brilliant brothers, they're the closest to him. Yayu's behind them in 4th. He's jostling with them and not getting through the ring on the drop down at the Elephant Rock, and he goes to the back. Platon Air now the one to chase Valprim with Red Sheep, his brother, behind him. Look, he goes left here. That isn't as quick for him as the route that Silvio tried last time, so Valprim now with about half a second's lead. And then we've got 5 pilots who are all within about 0.3 of a second of each other. 4 of them are SDT. They'll be thinking, it's okay, if Valprim wins this race, we've just got to stop Cyclone scoring more points behind him. And that's the situation we're in now. J-Box trying to be the one to break these 4 pilots, but with 1 lap to go, I'm not sure he's going to get close enough to have enough of an impact by himself. Here's Silvio. 2nd place, 7/10 behind Valprim. And this is the time when you play tactically and think, I don't need to throw careless, wild and dangerous manoeuvres at this. And the same goes for his team, who I'm sure he's captaining right now. Just keep the chase on. Don't let Cyclone take any more points in this. Valprim gets another win, but it's 1, 2, 3, and whoa, not quite 4. For SDT, Platon Air is beaten by 0.02 of a second by Zion, but that is not going to change the result. All the points to the top 4. Valprim with his 6th win in 6 races, but SDT played that smart. So there's Valprim at the start of the 2nd lap, leading everybody into that corkscrew, but unfortunately his teammates from Cyclone are the ones at the back of the race. And Silvio here, doing a similar line than he did before. It doesn't catch Valprim, it didn't need to. 4-6, 5-all, 4-6. What a close set of races, so exciting. And congratulations to SDT. 17 points to 13 gives them the win. Cyclone won't be in the Falcon Cup quali-final. SDT are going to fight for the #1 spot. Wow. Cyclone Racing, who went to every final in 2024 and won all of them, including the Super Final and the World Championship. Well, they're going to our first Cup final of 2025 as the #3 seed. Congratulations to SDT. Remember, they hadn't beaten Cyclone in over a year before. Now SDT have one more hurdle. It's Raiden Racing in the last match for the #1 seed at the Falcon Cup finals. Raiden against SDT again. It's always a thriller. Last time Raiden won. Can SDT turn it around? Well, join me in the DCL next time to find out. And look out, as we'll see you in the skies.